here's the thing. When you are playing golf is a very solo sport, right? I mean, unless I was going to try to go, become this golfer and compete, but it was a solo sport. But you always need people. To me, people have the answers, and I always seek people for their answers. So when I started the process, sure, I could read books, I could watch videos, but I needed to go to that coach. I started with the human that was going to show me what to do, how to do it, and the process. So in this instance for golf, I started with that person. But as I worked through golf, I didn't really, need more people. It wasn't a team building sport. I could play with people. At the end, I could impact people. Maybe I could go teach it. But when I think about people in my business from a real estate perspective, I needed people like my clients, right, to interact with. I needed a coach at that moment to interact with to get me better. When I felt safe, when I could get to impact, I think what I would do on this graph is I would put people next to impact, because you can't impact people until you're safe, until you have that purpose. I will never take an agent that's brand new, that's, hardly paying their apartment, bill, and they could hardly make ends meet, and say, hey, do you want to be a mentor on our team? No, I can't focus on others right now, even though I have a heart to do it. You can't focus on people until you put that mask on, that oxygen mask on. When I needed to build a team, now I built an organization through people. I can't do my job without Jenny, the right side of my brain. Like, there's a lot of things going on right now that she's doing that I could never do at the capacity that I do it. I could never, like, if you think about an entrepreneur or a solo producer, an entrepreneur says, man, I have 8 hours in the day, 8 to 10 hours in a day. What could I get done? That's what a solopreneur thinks. An entrepreneur thinks, man, I have 5 people on this team. If we're working 8 hours a day, that's, 40 to 50 hours in one day that we can combine 5 days a week. Like, what could we get done? So through people, I think that's where it compounds. And then really making sure that your people, where their position should be, what's going to bring them joy, because that's where Working Genius comes in, about knowing your people and knowing yourself. My organization was a disaster, a few years ago, because people were in the wrong seats, and they didn't have the same mission and vision. They had very self-fulfilling things that they wanted to do, and it wasn't about the team. And so I think that for me, leading, it's like, how do I know my people? We can grow through people, of course, but you can't really be in a place of impact unless you're like Mother Teresa and you're giving back at food banks and you're bringing water to villages. Now you don't need to be rich to do that. That's not what we're talking about. But in order to scale, definitely you have to scale through people. But I would put people at the top. I think for me in the real estate realm, because you can't help a lot of people when you yourself are not safe.